Turn the desktop audio up. All right, all right. Let me hit start recording so I can play this later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back with Zed Daily. This is Zed Daily, episode 73. I'm here with Joey from Chicago Stables. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So before we get into Zed Run, I wanted to touch on like how you got into crypto and what was that journey like?
Okay, yeah. So I actually really was never in crypto. So I think I had the same path as everyone with NBA Top Shot. So I got an NBA Top Shot, I think late March. Fooled around, did some trading, flipping the packs for a couple months, and then didn't really like it too much. Wasn't exciting anymore. And then I saw a few ads for Zed Run back in March, and never really decided to get into it until the end of May, beginning of June. That's when I started Zed. And after a few failed drops, we never got a horse, so we had to, buy one off of OpenSea.
So when you go and buy that first horse off of OpenSea, is it entertainment or investment at that point?
It was both. We wanted to make money, but definitely not how it's not how we started.
Okay. So what was the state of the game like when you first got in? Because right now we don't have odds, we don't have any of that stuff like that. Could you race like 24/7 and was this the odds era?
Yeah, so this was end of May, odds era, three races at a time. So basically, we just ran against Vanilla Bean, 20 times a day. Um, we had a horse called El Tractor, a Z10 Genesis, and I think it has maybe two wins out of a couple hundred.
Okay.
But we kept getting 20 odds. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Not bad. So what was the name of that first horse that you got?
El Tractor, EL Tractor.
All right. And so you were pulling 20 odds and you had but you guys continued to race it like just
Oh
day
yeah,
to day.
we raced it all day long just for fun. Paid races too. We didn't even like to do free, even though they had prize pools back then. But we're like, we just want to do paid.
Okay. So you get that first horse and you're pulling 20 odds. How does the game plan change after that? Like did you try and go buy some other horses to play a breeding game or did you always want to like be a racer within Zed?
Yeah, we want to be a racing team. Um, so yeah, me and my buddy, we started off. We shared El Tractor. Then we bought it for about $600. But after a few weeks, we started looking around for some new ones. Got another one, a Z6 exclusive Zabo at the time. Absolute donkey. It still has zero wins today out of like a couple hundred as well. But then we started learning, got more smart about the odds with I think Know Your Horse came out because before you would just look on the Discord for the odds, and then Know Your Horse helped us a lot. And then we found some good racers. We started seeing sub 10 odds. We started there.
So what were those like first sub 10 odds horses that you got?
Well, one was called Gaines. I think it's like a legendary horse. But then I think the turning point for my stable was when breeding opened up.
And what did that do for your stable exactly?
Well, I bred Clint Capella, which was a top horse in early July. I think it made almost an ETH in the month of July, and so that's kind of where I learned a lot about odds. Grinding races, making money, and just keep growing the stable, keep reinvesting the profits.
So what does it feel like to breed a horse like Clint Capella? Like from naming it to racing it to seeing that it actually performs and earns you money. Like what is that feeling like?
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing feeling. It's probably the best feeling in the game, besides winning maybe a Netflix race or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't bred any monsters yet, but I've also lost a Netflix race, so there's two
Well,
sides to that
top three
story.
works.
Yeah, the second time for sure, but that first time, man, I had to go take a nap after that first one because it was just you lose $3,000 in like 50 seconds. It's
It's
rough,
a
man.
it's a big percentage of the bankroll.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the current state of Zed right now? Like, do you enjoy the free racing to tournaments? Do you enjoy paid racing? Like, how do you approach this game day to day?
Yeah, I think over the last 2 days, the environment's actually been really smooth and great. I know the last couple of weeks it's been a pain, very slow, sales and transfers, the stud farms, super slow. But the last 2 days have been top notch in my mind. I'm very happy with it right now. Recently, used to, I was a paid race grinder, since July all the way up until recently. I've sold most of my racers over the last month, and I've switched to the tournaments. I'm happy with the tournaments.
So, you offloaded like what percentage of your stable?
All my top racers pretty much. Clint Capella, Ancestral Blessing, Be Water, my friend, Golden Sunshine. Those are like my probably my four top racers at the time. And I picked, I since switched to picking up a lot of Genesis racers that can compete. Because I still think the Genesis are overvalued. Hoping a little bit of the token drop maybe, but not super optimistic on it. Then recently been picking up some Z2s after Sleep Like Meek. He got me excited again. So about two more since then.
Okay. So, when you go and buy these Genesis horses, it's like, what is your blueprint to find a horse that can compete in day to day free races?
So I'm on hockey all the time, looking to make a positive trade. So what that means is if I see anything that I think is undervalued, I'm taking it no matter what. So for example, probably 3 weeks ago, I got this horse called Pony Shy. It's a C9 Genesis Butte. Um, hasn't raced since odds era. It was like, 8, 9 odds. So it was a good racer for 0.17. I mean, and as soon as I bought it, I already got offers, for, zero point 0.5.
Wow.
But I'm holding on to it. I'm hoping that it can breed with the new algo. It still can race, but I don't have a lot of time to racing that. I'm focusing on my top horses that can actually win in the semifinals, the finals, because it's not fun grinding all day and then you get to the quarterfinals and you just you're out.
So did you make sure that they could compete at either 1200, 18, or 24 so that they would be game in the playoff rounds?
Actually, I don't. Um, I know some people. I think the difference between 1,000 and 1,200 is not too much in my mind. I know you can, look at the horseshoe breakdown and you can see some clear differences, but if they can hang in 1,000, they can hang at 1,200,
I like
and
it.
vice versa for the other distances.
So why'd you go? So you bought the Genesis horses. What was the reasoning behind going Z2 UU or Z3 UUs?
Um, I I was looking to get a Z2 for a while, just get the lowest Z possible bred horse. Um, And then I saw Sleek Like Me come on the market. It was 0.35, which was the cheapest. And then every time before I buy a horse, I look at the parents' ancestry, offspring charts. And if they're both left leaning ramps, I'm taking it every time.
Hmm. Okay, so you buy Sleek was unnamed at the time when you bought him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us the story about Sleek Like Meek. You buy this horse and then you name it and race it. Like, what? How does that turn out to be?
Yeah. So we did it on this stream. I think that was about 9 days ago, maybe. Started off with 2,600, and it was actually a really tough 2,600 with a couple Z2s, Ready Set Boom Z2 offspring. No heat, got four for them. We flipped it right away to 1,000, and I think he won like five in a row. And then he got into the quarterfinals, pulled heat in the quarterfinals A, I got like second or third. And then the semis, he didn't pull heat, and I was out.
Yeah, that's rough. So yesterday you actually won a finals with Sleek Like Meek, right?
Yeah, we won the A bracket sprinter, Fibonacci.
So how does that feel? Buying a
That
horse
was
and then
great.
actually seeing it like win a tournament.
Yeah, and I knew that he had it in him because I've been racing some, $100 races in C1 and podiums. So I know he can hang with the best. He flames in most of his races. He's outflamed some 95% heat horses at 1,000. So I know he had it in.
All right. And so how much hours are you putting into this game now? You got your Genesis horses, you got Sleek Like Meek. Like do you keep track of how much time you put into this game day to day?
24/7 pretty much.
I'm the same way. It's hard to
Yeah, I
keep
mean
track,
it's
right?
it's easy on like on your phone. You just quickly pull up the race entrant and you can just look away for a few minutes, come back.
That's the beautiful thing about Zed, right? Is that you don't always have to be at your desktop. You can just be on your phone in the car or something, toss a horse into the race, and then wait for it to fill, and then just keep going from there, right?
Yeah, and that's why I like the dailies because you only need 5 races a day, whereas a paid grinder, back in August we would max it out at like 20 races a day per horse.
Right. So we got the breeding update that just dropped on us. What was it last week? How did your game
Friday.
plan change from pre-update to post-update? Like, how do you approach breeding now?
I think it's probably similar as everyone's, matching distance preference with distance preference, maybe trying to do a sprinter with a big variance horse, um, different bloodlines. We'll see if that, we can power creep at all there. But I haven't had too much success yet. Maybe one or two good horses out of the 20 I probably bred.
Are you trying to stay within the Nakamoto bloodline, or are you willing to go down?
Oh, yeah, I have plenty of Buterins that I've bred. Most of my stable is Buterins.
Do you breed them back into Nakamoto's or Buterin into Buterin?
It depends on the horse. I've done both. Actually, so I bred the second bred horse of the Algo when it released,
Okay, nice.
and it was a Z9 donkey with a Z2 cryptic gambit. It's actually a really good stud, and the horse is probably the best bred one I've had since the Algo. It's a sprinter, and it flames in C2, C1. So we'll see him in the tournament later today.
So how'd you get a horse in during that first day? Cause shit was crazy, man. Like people couldn't toss them in. Like, did you just toss it
Well,
in like normal
well, I
or?
didn't toss it in. There was someone else's Z2. So
Gotcha.
I took a Genesis Z2. I saw it minimum, had good breeding history. Um, I wanted to just, I didn't know I figured there'd be a big rush to breed. So I just wanted to take whatever I got. And because during that time, the horses weren't reset for the first, 20, 30 minutes. And I had one Genesis mare available. So I decided that I wanted to use her to win.
Mm, okay. And then they'd reset after that, right?
Yeah, it took about 30 minutes to reset the breeds.
All right. Do you tell your friends and family about Zed Run and what do they say about it?
Yeah, I got a lot of my friends at the Zed Run, help them out, just give them I have a lot of horses, so I can just lend them out and they can have fun, race for free. And if they like it more, they can, put their own money in. Yesterday, yeah, my family, we have a big family group chat and I always, send the big races in and they were cheering me on.
Have any of your friends that you've given a horse to like wanted to invest their own money afterwards, like got addicted to the game?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have some good horses.
So what do you tell them as an entry strategy? Like what? I'll just ask you this question now. Like if how much ETH, and then what do you tell them to go get?
Yeah, I mean, the first, rule is only invest what you're, willing to lose 100% of. Nothing's guaranteed. I think I got very lucky to be in the position where I'm at. So my strategy is to be way different than anyone else's strategy. Um, I think for smaller stables, you can get a very cheap horse that can compete in daily tournaments. You can spend easily 0.05 and there's plenty of horses that qualify at a distance preference. Um, Otherwise, you can find a paid grinder if you want to go that route as well. I think it's crucial, small stable, if they need cash flow to survive because if they're losing money, they can never grow. And that's the hardest part for small stables. Like they don't need to go buy a genesis for breeding. There's no point of them spending money on breeding. They need to have cash flow to grow.
So how do you like break down these horses? Like if you're looking for a paid racer versus a free racer, like what statistics are you typing into Haku to find horses that can compete for a good entry price?
Right. I think the first part where I start is I'm looking for horses that haven't ran much and the owner probably raced it indirectly and they're just dumping it. So I'll look for someone who, raced a sprinter at marathons. They don't know what they have, so they're selling for point oh 0.02. And I bought many horses, point oh 0.01, point oh 0.02 that can win paid $2, $5 races. So I'm looking for the undervalued horses that were ran wrong. That's where I start first. So I'll do like, less than 10 races. And then you can filter, heat by distance preference. So usually I'd see like they ran two sprints, pulled the heat in one or two, maybe not the best outcome, but then they ran, marathoners got 11th, 12th. Well,
Mm.
it's a clear sprinter, but it's not tested as much. So I'm willing to take the risk there for point oh 0.02. Um, Otherwise, a paid one, I'd probably look at over 100 races minimum. Um, yeah, I've kind of been my whole career in the the mid distance funnel. That's where all my horses been. Now recently, I got all these sprinters. I need some more marathoners. It's easier to see the distance preference ones versus the mid funnel ones.
The mid funnel ones get crazy, right? Because do you think those ones are have more variance, or like how do you look at those ones?
Yeah, it's definitely variance because a good mid funnel one like in C3, C4, C2, they're only pulling heat less than 50% of the time. So, people kind of get discouraged, like, oh, my horse needs to pull heat every single time. But well, you're not a sprinter. Like a good sprinting horse, 80+%. Whereas mid, you're not going to see a mid pulling 80% heat. You know, that's like an average to good horse.
So if you're going for a sprinter horse, do you like to see a horse that can downclass in marathons?
Yeah, I think that's the true characteristic of this preference. Because I think if they can't get, the bottom three, I don't think that means they can't get top three in the other funnel.
So how do you like do you try and keep horses out of class 1 and into their lowest class so you can race them most efficiently for those free races, and then if they qualify you just bring them back down the next day?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we want to keep the horse. Usually, you want to keep it in the lowest class as possible for qualifying. So it depends on the horse too. So if you have a horse that has a ton of win equity, you want to race, the Fibonacci Cup, the keep on winning Cup, not the podium plate. The podium plate's a little different because one, two, three are all weighted the same.
Mm.
So that day might be a down day where that the horse is a big winner, it doesn't make sense to run a podium plate because they're not getting two and three, so they're not going to qualify. So that could be a down day. Then obviously every Friday is a down day for pity point. So the main difference is to see their strengths and the win equity versus the podium equity as well.
All right. And it seems like we have discovery now, so like you almost have to have a perfect run because you have these new horses coming out that are being bred, and if they're good, they'll go win, 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 win. And if you already have an established horse, like you've got to at least almost hit that same amount of wins to even qualify now.
That's really tough fields out there trying to qualify. I think today to get an A, you need 4 out of 5 podiums for sprints, and that's to be even tied. Like you might tie in B and B
Mm-hmm.
with 4 out of 5, and so you get a little lucky where Zed randomly puts you.
Yeah. How did you?
Also, you can be more selective on your races because it's only 5, so you got to make everyone count. So just be patient, find a weak field. Like I use the Stack Knox extension, which is amazing. You just wait till you see a few downers, and then don't be the first one to enter. Be the last 3.
Right. And so what does a weak field look like to you? Like, do you avoid
All blue.
monster horse all blue? Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
all blue.
Is there any horses that you try and avoid, like specifically in a certain class?
No,
Just wait for the all blue
I'm.
field.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. A league like me, I'll put them in any field. I like going. I like testing them against stronger fields to see if I can flame over, certain people.
It's like ripping a band-aid off, right? Like you're gonna either have to test them eventually, so you might as well just do it. And it's
Oh
fun
yeah,
when you take out the big dogs like Sleek did yesterday.
yeah, it's great. And I think I'm 2-0 against Milk Bar, so I'm happy about that.
No flames needed on that one.
That's right.
So they dropped Discovery on us like I think it was a few months back, and some
Yeah,
people
it's
love it,
mid-February.
some people hate it. How do you feel about Discovery?
It's definitely flawed in the sense. I know they're taking steps in the right direction with the decreased multiplier of class points. I heard a lot of people talk about, we should just start from the bottom and work your way up. That could be an interesting take. Um, yeah, no, it's kind of a weird area to place horses certainly because it sucks that you don't want to win 5 in a row, then you're in C1. It's kind of like the wrong mentality.
Right. It's yeah. When I first got into the game, I was kind of like, you would think you'd want to go to C1, right? But after a while, you realize like, oh, nobody wants to be in C1. There's no volume. You're racing against the best of the best, and you have a harder time qualifying from there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think hopefully in the future we'll see, like the C1 Premier Tournament. Hopefully get more incentives to be up there. Who knows? Maybe there's another Netflix sponsor coming out. Something's gonna happen. I think where it'll pay off.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
also, I think the main thing I think Zed needs to help out is probably the beat run only tournament, the Z40 plus tournament. So we gotta make sure everyone has a chance and has fun as well.
It seems like we're working our way there, right? We have the 5% win rate, and then they just dropped the 0% win rate
Yeah.
races down in the lower classes.
And then, they talk about party mode forever, which is supposed to come out last like in January. And we haven't talked about it since. But I think with party mode, you and your friends can make whatever custom race you want. And you can, I think they said that you can do paid too for those customs. So that'll be fun.
Because we already saw that there's a market for it with the Larry Colmus event that Pony Plug held the other day. Like that was basically a custom race, right? And they drew in a lot of
Right.
eyes. They brought in their own race caller that actually calls like actual horse races. So there's a market for it if they can implement it into the game.
And I think, the March Madness bracket comes out tonight on Pony Plug at 7. And I think that the Elite Eight and on will be custom races that Zed will have set up. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard.
So March Madness is you got three horses, and then you try and
Win as
on
much as
whoever you're
possible.
going to get, you try and win as much as possible. So what three are you racing in that tournament?
I have to go through it. Probably Sleep Like Me. He'll be my sprinter. And then Demon Secrets, my Z5 Genesis. He can hang. He's in C1. He's won at A finals as well. He can hang in mid and distance. So if I make it far enough, because once you get to the Elite Eight, you get to run every distance funnel
Mm.
with all your horses. So you need to be able to compete, across the board. So he can help me out there. And my third one, still deciding.
That yeah, that makes sense. Like you want to have something that can race in the sprinters, the mid distance, and the marathon. So when you get to that elite eight, like at least you're still game and not gonna get washed
Mm-hmm.
out. So they've talked about well, we were supposed to get the Z token into Q1. Now they're saying sometime in Q2. What do you want to see from the Z token? Do you want to see more utility when it comes to like if you burn a horse, you get a free breed or something? Like what are some things you want to see from the token?
It's interesting because some people view it very positively, some view it negatively, and based on some of the stuff I've heard is once the token comes out, we're gonna be a token based only platform and move away from ETH. And I'm not sure if that makes me excited or not. So we all want to play for ETH, which is gonna hold the most value versus the Zed Run token, in my opinion. Um, but it's gonna be good to burn horses for a little token. Hopefully spend that on breeds. Their drop would be nice, but not really looking to cash out.
So you're not gonna sell when you first get airdrop this token,
It depends on how much I get.
right?
Um, I don't know. maybe at most 50%, but I'm not going more than 50%.
Right. It is interesting. I was in the camp like I don't want to move away from ETH, and I still kind of feel that way. But if they still peg it to USD, we'd still be fine, right? Like it would just be however much
Right.
tokens for that USD amount.
But what happens when the token goes from a dollar to 10 cents?
Mm.
I mean, that's what I worry about.
Mm. Yeah. So some people are gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because they're gonna have to have enough liquidity to sustain um a big dump, especially if there is one like on that first day.
Yeah, I'm not really sure to expect it all. But if you look at all these, airdrop tokens, that kind of seems like the path they follow.
What does the perfect Zed Run future look like for you? Like, where do you see this game going in 5 years, 10 years? If it can stay alive for that long, what do you think Zed looks like
Yeah,
in that
I think
time?
the future is very bright. I mean, it'd be great to see it, in Vegas. Betting on it. I think that's what everyone's hoping for is people betting on your races to get a little, income from that side. And then, it'd be cool to, go to the bars. You can rent your horse out there, watch it on the TV. I think that's what I want to see. $3 million, Breeders' Cup tournaments. Who knows?
And they've already got the big sponsors and all that stuff. So it seems like they're aligning themselves pretty well to be able to do this in the future. It's just a matter of like if they can survive that long or whoever knows what can happen, right? Like it's the Wild West out here.
It is. Yeah, I'm confident with the team. Um, we'll take it slow. It's early. Um, just gotta be patient.
Yeah. I think it's hard to realize like how like early and how much of a pioneer Zed is when it comes to this. Like they're doing things that have never been done before. Like you take esports, you mix it with NFTs, and then you mix it with digital horse racing, and then you add a breeding aspect to it. It's like there's Zed Run for you.
Yeah, you gotta really think about it. We have what, 10,000 active users at most. What happens when we get to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000? I think it's gonna look a lot different.
Right.
I
So
mean, just going from 10 to 20, it's not that many people, and that's double the platform already.
how would you tell a new person like if you had to restart today, like you were just getting into the game today, but you knew everything that you know now, and let's say I gave you half an ETH, what would you go get and why?
I think half an ETH, I'd probably get a floor Genesis Stallion Z10. Hopefully, someone can stud with them. Um, I know, like a couple days ago, right before the algo changed, I got the Z10 called Gangnam Style, for like floor price, and he studded out 3 times immediately in the barn. So I'd hope for that same result, which is pretty optimistic. And then I would get probably a tournament or a paid racer. Hopefully, win a quarterfinal or something. Just try to make, I don't know, point 0.2 a month or whatever, and just slowly work your way up.
I like it. And I like the Genesis Stallion play, especially now since we have breeding decay. Because the like I've always loved stallions because I've looked at that as like a passive income aspect. Now you add that they can always produce passive income to compared to like legendaries and exclusives to where they hit that breeding decay to where at a certain point down the line you're not going to be able to breed as good a horses, but those Genesis horses will not be affected by that.
Yeah, and then the reason you want the stallion too is you're not spending money, whereas the mare you're spending money unless you sell it you. But I'm not sure how much you really make off of that because you would need the stallion for the in-house, breed as well because that's where they're sitting at. Because if you breed it in stable or out of stable, the UUU is going to be cost you more to breed than on the actual market.
Would you like to see them fix that? Because you have to make
Yeah,
two
there's no
wallets to get the
reason.
most return on your money, right?
Yeah, there's no reason for them to do that.
Yeah, I'm with
It's very
it's
annoying sending back and forth.
yeah, it's probably the one of the most ass backwards things I've noticed about the game. And I didn't do it for the longest time, so I was
Me
like
too.
I didn't want to do that, but once you do it and you see how much money you truly save, you're like, "Oh my goodness, you have to make two stables and then breed in between."
Yeah, agreed. I think I didn't get my other stable until a few months ago. So I, spent 6 months with one stable in-house breeding. Just wasted a lot of money there. I
Um
think I just looked. I think I've done about 150 breeds.
damn.
I know.
That's a lot. Out of
It is a
out
lot.
of 150, how much of those have you kept? Like, how much of those stayed on the track till this day are still racing?
Well, let's see. Well, Clint Capella's still racing. I don't own him, so I bred him. Um, Don Julio, I have. He's you know a U-shaped horse at 14. 16 across the board. Can hang in like C4, C3, just a $2, $5 grinder. Nothing crazy. Um, yeah, I have a lot of other free tournament horses I'm racing, but like I want to focus only on, 5 horses a day, no more than 10 at that point.
Concentrate down into the ones that can actually compete, so you're not wasting your
Yeah.
time at least.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a ranking to come out, which would be nice. I have a lot of horses that are benched that, should be running more than they are. So hopefully, renting comes out in quarter 2, they said. Um, someone can use those.
And it's that renting aspect is going to be huge because if you look at Pegixy or you saw D Race when it was hot, or you look at Axie Infinity, it's not even really people that want to. It's not even people that like are investors in the game. It's if you go look in those comments, it's like, hey, can I have a scholarship? Hey, can I race your horses? Like, hey, so once they add that into the game, and if they have I don't know what they could do, but we already have the free tournaments. If people can race those horses and potentially make money, and you just lend them off to other people, like it's gonna be a super huge market.
It's gonna be great. Do you think it's gonna work where you rent it for whatever amount you set it as and they keep the winnings, or is it split 50-50? Because I think if you do it for free, it should be 50-50, but if they're paying for it, they keep 100, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I would do. Yeah, so if they're paying for it, like if I was gonna rent out diamonds, I would just rent them out for a flat fee and be like, hey, whatever you win, you get a keep. But if it's free, then yeah, the 50-50 aspect seems like that would be fair at least.
and then there's got to be some contract where it says, oh, you can only raise, 1,600, $5 to $10 buy-in only. There's got to be some kind of restrictions because you don't want, someone racing you down at 100. Well, I guess they're spending the money, but it still makes your horse look
Right. They can intentionally or unintentionally, if they don't know what they're
bad. Yeah,
doing, F up your horse's stats.
right.
It'd be
So hopefully there's
interesting.
some,
It'd be interesting to see if they have like a renting stats and then just like a owner stats. So you see how
right.
like the renters do, or like those stats don't affect your overall horse stats.
Yeah, I'm sure Know Your Horse, when it comes, they could break it out, or there's like a leaderboard. Yeah, except for more leaderboards on the site. I think everyone here is very competitive. So if you saw a weekly stable leaderboards, who's made the most, who's won the most races that during that week, that month, year to date, and then maybe um, there's some prizes, maybe like a horse giveaway, a skin for the month. And there's a lot of incentives that will get people racing more.
100%. Bexel asks in chat. He says, "Are you excited about breeding now, Chicago?"
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I've had too much success yet. I have over like 100 horses right now, so I want to condense a lot, but I also just don't want to sell them for floor at the same time. So I'm kind of waiting to see how it pans out with renting and the token with burning retirement. Um, yeah, breeding looks good with the distance preferences. I've seen, there's a lot of good new horses on the track. We'll see if they can hang once they get to the actual fields, because you never know,
Once they hit that C1 wall, right?
right? But even if you're not flaming a C1 free, it's not doesn't mean you're bad necessarily. So you got to see exactly who you're racing against, because you could be the fourth best one, and that's still a 1% horse.
Or if you got that variance as well, right? To where
That yeah,
you'll race up against Z1s. Like neither of us pulled flames in that tournament race yesterday. We went up against Secret Strategy, Milk Bar, and then another like Z1 or Z2. So
yeah,
most
on
of those
tour,
times on tour is who it was. So most of the times you'll lose those flames, right? But
right?
you don't have the odds to see, or like those hard numbers to see if you're still game in those races. You just only have to go off flames.
Yeah, it's tough for your confidence at least.
Yeah, it is tough. So if you had the keys to Zed and you could change one thing, or yeah, if you could change one thing right now, what would you change and why?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with bringing quote unquote odds back, or even the blue flame concept. I would probably do something with that to bring more confidence in the racing and markets for buying and selling because no one wants to buy a horse that's raced 4 times and you can't see the odds, even though it might be a really. I think there's many great horses that don't even race after 10 races, but they're pulling single digit odds. We just don't know.
Hmm.
So I'd bring back maybe like a historical look back of odds. Like um, you get the odds of one race every 20 races, 25 races. Just a little snippet.
I like that. That's actually a really good idea. Now you're saying that. You're not over flooding the market with odds, but if you it well one it incentivizes you to race your horse. Two,
Mm-hmm.
like you're not going to get them all the time. So you could line up that 25th race, put your horse against the best of the best and see what odds you pull against them.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. Because there's been what since odds went away. There's probably another 200,000 new horses we have no idea about.
100%.
Because well, Diamonds had odds just for a week or so, right?
Yeah, I
For a
think
couple
it
weeks.
yeah, I think it was a couple weeks but maybe a month, but that was like when I look back I'm like that's so big time because horses with odds, they have those hard numbers. So and especially like I raced him against Vanilla Bean. I saw him pull better odds than horses, right? So that's why like my conviction to holding on to him is so high because I have those hard numbers compared to people now they only can go off flames.
Yeah, right. And it'd be interesting to see the new top horses, what odds are being pulled now. But also, I think they need to tweak the actual odds calculation because before it took it's more of win equity, right? So the
Mhm.
U shapes had really low odds because they got first or last. Whereas I think they need to tweak the odds a little bit. I'll probably calculate it.
I heard Good Boy Racing, he keeps on saying this. It's like historical odds. So you have to race your horse, kind of like you were saying, but then you get odds based on how your horse has performed in the past, not looking into the future, but rather looking at how the horse has actually raced in its history.
Okay. Yeah. So would that be like looking at an average of all the races, or was he? I'm not sure.
I,
It
I
was just like one.
I'd have to ask him, but I think he was saying like
Yeah.
maybe kind of like what you were saying, like you race 25 races and then on like one of those races or just like you race for 25 races and you don't get flames, but on that 25th race like you'll get odds because you've raced 25 times, and if you've won a bunch it's going to calculate how many times you've won, who you've won against in the past, and then give you odds from there.
I mean, it's kind of like unlocking an achievement.
And that gives you something to work for within the game,
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a lot more volume. I'd race all my horses 25 times, even the donkeys.
just to see if you got those odds, because
Yeah,
you may never know. Like you could pull low odds in that 25th race, and you're like, well, I never saw that with flames, but I'm seeing the odds here.
exactly.
So, what was I gonna ask you? What are you like breeding now? Are you trying to go base ability with distance preference, variance with base ability, distance preference on distance preference, marathon sprinters? Like, what's your thought process on what's gonna be the best outcome now?
Yeah, I've been trying all three. So high base, the Z2, um, with a distance preference would be nice. Sprinter, marathoner, and then same distance preference together, and then a distance preference with a variance, and also variance with variance. Who knows what you can create. But like I said, I haven't had too much luck so far.
Luck is always better than skill, though.
That's right.
So if you owned any two horses within the game, like let's say like if you don't own these horses right now, but if you could take two horses and breed them, what horses would they be and why?
Hmm. I had to look up a few, but I'd probably go the sprinter route just because way more exciting than watching a marathon race. So see who are the best sprinters that I would go with. I would go with two Z1s. I know, on tours when making killers, so we might start there. So Z1's on tours Stallion, right? I think he's a Stallion.
Yeah, we can look it up. Yeah, I have no clue
Like
on
I,
that
I
one.
can do that.
Cool.
It's the on tour Z1 Stallion, and then I know Great North Racing and Great White Shark Genesis Stables. They have that Z2 called like Kiri Kamari. It's like a really good Z2 Genesis.
Hmm.
So I'd make a Z3, but I think I'd go with those two for a sprinter.
And then that Kamari horse, what distance funnel does that horse like?
Sprint,
Sprint.
both sprinters. Yeah,
So you'd go sprinter on sprinter and just try and get the best sprinter baby you could.
yeah, I think so. But who knows? Within a month, hopefully we'll have a lot more data. We'll see what's actually happening. I know BG will be working hard in the background.
Yeah, 100%. So I got a few last questions for you. If you could own any horse in the game that you don't currently own, what horse and why?
So besides diamonds, um, I don't know. I think it's got to be probably ready, set, boom. Just complete domination at long distance. The Z1 Stallion. So I think that's probably right now the most valuable horse. Or I go to maybe billions. One of one, top horse, Z1, sprinter. Checks all the boxes. We'll see how his breeding update goes because I know in the past he hasn't created a ton of great horses, so he might have a buff here.
So would you stake in that sprinter route and go like billions in Crimson Chin or billions in another sprinter just to see how
I
it
think
plays
so. I
out?
think I think that's the way.
Stacking distance preference?
With the lowest Z as he can.
Yeah, I like it. Do you have a preference of either trying to stay in legendary, exclusive, or do you not mind going down into elite, cross, pacer, and all that?
I won't go below elite, but I think elite's very interesting, especially with the new update. I mean, as they talked about, it could be one of the best places to be once you stack all the right pieces together.
Mm. So what? Why
That's what
won't
we're
you,
hoping for, at least.
why won't you go down to elite?
No, pass elite. I won't go to
Pass elite.
crosser. Yeah, yeah. Um, we haven't seen any good racers down there for one, so I think it's just kind of a waste for now. But I know John Lee alluded to that, a crosser or a pacer could potentially out surpass some of the racers today, but I'll believe it once I see it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do how do you feel about seasons and like what would you like to see? Because they said we're gonna have seasons. Like, what do you think that looks like, and what would you like to see some of these seasons look like? Would you have bloodline based seasons to where like some Finnies, there's a Finny only season, or just like a bunch of different seasons at once? Like, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I think seasons are great. I think I heard about the idea, quite a while ago. Hoping Zed can implement it. I know some people talked about seasons where they, kind of reset the ability of the horses, but I'm definitely
Mm,
against that,
me too.
or like change or tweaking it in some way. But yeah, seasons, you can, I think you could buy into one potentially, just like, 0.02 ETH, whatever. The season, be a beater and only league, um, a Z20 plus leagues, somewhere where you can compete. Um, Within the season, you think you would have your own racing category. So like you're only racing against the Z20s of the league you signed up for, because I don't think it would make much sense racing against all the horses that aren't in your league. That's how dailies are now, but I don't know.
No, I'm with you. It's kind of like having NFL players play against high school kids, right? Like you got to separate it into like, or even if you just look at college, like Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, let people pick what division they want to go in so they don't waste the whole 3 months racing and then they just get killed by a monster Z1 in the end. I'd like to see it stacked into divisions.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think we can only go up.
I'm with you, man. Was there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to touch on?
No, I'm happy to take any questions.
Chat, if you guys got any questions for Chicago, drop them in chat. Do you got any
Yeah,
questions
we
for
can
me,
look at
Chicago?
horse. We can look at horses. We can
We
do
can do
whatever.
we can do that too.
Um, so what's one thing that you would change?
Mm.
What's that?
One thing I would change with Zed. See, I'm so used to putting people on the spot. I'm not used to having it turned back on me. One thing I would change. I would incentivize C1 as much as I could. So I would either juice the paid races. So there's incentive for a lot. Like you're not. They took out Rake, which is nice, but I would like to either see like some of their sponsors say, "Hey, we're gonna juice paid races for this month," or like they have another sponsor juice it for next month. So I would like to either see betting some of the money go to the horses. Now we might get that with the Zed token, right? To where people can buy the Zed token and then bet from there, and then the horses will receive a share of the bets. Or I would like to see a sponsor say we're going to sponsor class 1 for a certain amount of time, and then that juices the prize pools for whoever's racing in class 1.
Do you have any like number in mind for the juice? Like, is it five? Like, is it a percentage? Like a 2% boost in the prize pool? Like, I don't. I'm trying to think like because now in C1 I feel like there's pretty good volume, and I'm not sure the exact numbers of how much USD we're racing in C1 a month, but I'm sure it's getting up there pretty high. So, I mean, if we're doing a couple million a month, maybe in there, I have no idea what the number is, but 10% of 3 million is what, 300,000? I guess
Something.
that's not too much for a sponsor, but some 10% boost.
Netflix, they did the okay, so the buy-ins were 3,000, but first place got 40,000. So I believe it was like an overall $75,000 prize pool.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Zed do like every day there's $20,000 prize pool tournaments. It'd be interesting if
Right.
they said like we're gonna dedicate 50,000 to C1 and then break it up in from 250s all the way to the $500 races and just boost all of those pots if you could.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it for April.
And then you just get people that would also race those paids, right? Because there's so much plus EV in racing paid races. And then that opens it up for people that maybe you can't necessarily compete in paids, but now that a lot of horses are going to be racing paid, the tournament should be a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think what we saw was from the tournament so far, Z1 through Z5 has made 80% of all the money. So, eliminating those percentage of horses would open it up more. But maybe that number just shifts down to the Z6 through 10 then. I don't know.
Right. Right. I would just open it up for more people to make money in the game is what I would like to see. Chris V asked, "What was your first horse, and do you still own it?"
Yeah, so L Tractor is my first horse, the Z10 Genesis. Can we screen share?
Mm-hmm.
All
I'll
right,
give
let's
you the
do it.
screen 1 second. Share screen. Allow. All right, there you go.
All right. Let me know when if you can see it and how we're looking.
Yep, we see it.
Yeah, this is L Tractor, my first horse. So I know we were pulling 20 odds across the board. We were happy. We didn't really care. Um, yeah, let's go back to go back and see it. I think if any race you click on, you would probably see Vanilla Bean. I think not this one, but almost every race, it was brutal. But we had fun, just cheering on. But look at all these. It's all middle. I don't think, we get they're all paid too. We race paid every time just for fun. So I think we got to bring that mentality back. And then just to show you where also where we started was Cryptic. Look at this one is even worse.
Do you?
He's never finished first.
Okay, so it looks like you got rid of these guys.
Oh yeah, I think we bought this horse for like $1,000 at the time.
The market was crazy at that time. I came in buying UUZ2s for
Yeah.
1.1 and the Phillies were 1.6. So I just know like every other bloodline was just massively, massively overvalued at that time.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough supply for all the new demand, and which we should have done back then was you could just breed your legendary breeder in for, was it point oh 0.02, and then you could sell it for, point oh 0.08, point 0.1, and we never did that. We should have, but and also ETH was, back in July 1700, so it's a little different as well.
That's crazy, man. Um, Andy Mack asks, "Do you think the breeding update will encourage people to race unraced horses by a little or a lot?" That's a good question.
Well, I think everyone is breeding with the hopes that they can create a new monster. So I'm assuming everyone who's breeding, not selling UU, is, putting it into the refrigerator away. That's what I'm doing. I know a lot of people are waiting for the quote unquote maiden, but when that time comes, I'll buy some more UUs. But I'm not going to wait because it seemed like there was some logistical problems with the maiden. I'm not sure why or how, so I'm not sure. They might surprise us too next Monday, saying, "All right, here's the maiden."
They dropped the breeding update on us out of nowhere. They dropped the 5% win rate. They dropped the 0%. So they've been making moves and they've just been doing it at the snap of a finger. So you never know what to expect. But what sucks is you might breed some horses, race them, and then they drop the maiden right behind that, and you're like, I just bred all my horses and raced them.
Yeah, it's all right.
Who were your main paid grinders last summer? Asked Bexel.
And I'll pull it up again. So last summer, I started with Clint Capella, bred it opening night. If I never bred him, my stable would be nowhere near where it was today. Um, so let's just do a drill down and we'll go back into the times. We'll say for 1 month what he did. Let's see. I mean, 0.66 in the first month, pulling 7 odds across the board. So that was my intro into paid racing. So we had a great time with him. And then I started realizing, started looking for low odds horses. So and then we bought Loon, who also did great. Another sub 9 odds horse. The race, we race these so much. Like all these horses have over 1,000 races. And I also bought Golden Sunshine at the time, another sub 9 odds U-shaped horses. I think, these are my main horses up until the last few months.
Do you like the U shapes over the L shapes, or would you rather have a very consistent horse over the U shapes?
Um, I love the U shapes. I think I would take the L and that can hang in C1, like slick like me. But yeah, the U's are nice because you can be anyone at any given time,
Mm.
right?
You just got to hope for that good variance roll, which is the thing. You can go on a massive losing streak, but you just got to tell yourself like, I can lose 7 in a row. I can lose 7 in a row, and then you win that 7th or 8th one, and then at least you broke even and made your money back for whatever you lost on your losing streak.
Yeah, and with the U, you have to be consistent with your buy-ins. You can't jump around too much because okay, you lose $310 a row, then you win at 250, and it's like, where are you now? So you
Exactly.
have to be consistent, otherwise you will lose money, even though if the horse is good, in my opinion.
That's a no.
But
That is a great point. I don't do that just because I'm a degenerate. But I mean, I'll try and keep diamonds in like 25s and up. But yeah, man, it's rough when you go on those down streaks and you're just like, all right, lost $100, lost another one, lost a $50, lost a 25. But when you win one, you can be up for um, whatever fucking amount. Andy Mack asks, "How do you judge the quality of a horse, and in as in only finish position or times or flames?" That's a good question.
I'm assuming it's questions, as of today, since we don't have odds and flames only. So start off with the Griffey. First, talking about a brand new horse, that's where I'll start for now. You definitely want to see the flames for a dominant horse. and you have to be able to calculate somehow, either just in your mind or maybe mathematically on an Excel spreadsheet of the quality of the field, because that's really what matters. I know Dan Shan released a great article back in probably July or August, so you should definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. It's about calculating the field. So what you do is you look at the Griffey. Is this, an average? Is this a C5 race, a C4 race, a C3 race? So you got to calculate out the Z numbers of the horses of what kind of field this is. So that's where you'd start there. Because if you're racing in a C5 field in your mind and you're not pulling heat, well, it's not going to look quite as good. Whereas if it's a C2 race, so you're hoping for flames, especially for distance preference. But I do think finishing times matter, especially if you see a horse like in a sprint, beat second place, by a second, half a second. Like you got at least some variance there where you can win big, and that's where I would start.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Do you judge the field off of Z number and bloodline? Like if you got a bunch of Z2s in there, you could probably assume that's like a C1 or a C2 field.
Right. Yeah. Z2, you have to expect heat. If you're not getting heat, and especially in the Griffey, it's probably a bust.
Yeah.
I mean, I just had one, last week, and it was a distance Z2, but and then as soon as I didn't pull heat in the one of the discovery races, I just knew that I won't be able to compete.
Yeah, those are rough, huh? Because especially for the price that those cost, like you would expect those to be able to win, and then you're losing flames to like a Z16 Buterin. It's just like my goodness, it's rough.
Yeah, and that's also a difference between maybe a 2600 and a 22. Where the C16s have a lot more probably distance preference than your Z2. So you can probably hang it at 22, but maybe stay away from 26.
So if you're losing flames and you figure out this horse can't race, do you still say like it has the potential to be a breeder or breed something?
Um, could, but I don't mind at this point. Um, yeah, especially if it's a filly, yeah, I'm keeping it. But I've been buying the Z2 Colts because they're cheaper, and I'm only buying them for racing ability. I'm not buying them to breed.
Mm.
Um, so I'm going for the cheapest, lowest Z2 of the parents' ancestry that I like the best.
Are you going for ones pre-update or post-update? Because I've seen a lot of people talking on Twitter that the pre-update Z2s are somehow more valuable because they either have like more base ability or something like that. So are you going pre or post-update Z2s?
I've been going post. So Meek was pre, like a day or two before, and then I bought two so far post, and one's okay. Oh, say that again about the 22 and 26. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you have a distance preference horse, for example, I had this Z2 that's a marathon, not the best marathoner by any means, but you're facing all these other horses that have extreme distance preference. So they're going to outflame you at 26, whereas you turn it down a notch at 22, you have more base ability and you should be able to win and outpower those horses. And Dan Chan, spoke about this a lot as well. He calls them the ants.
Why does he call them that, if you know why?
I think there's just so many of them, just breeding, beater and beater and left, right. There's just
Uh,
so many. And he also calls them ants because they're so good at downclassing. It's hard to downclass against, a Z38 because they're so, bad and slow.
that makes sense. Yeah, the closer to 16 you are, the lower Z number should be good. The further you
And
go
keeping it
out,
down.
you're gonna
Yeah.
go run into the distance preference horses that may outflame you.
Yep, exactly.
Interesting. Sweet. He says he got it. Well, cool, man. You got anything else? I enjoyed that. That was a good talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully, come back on. We'll analyze some horses in the future.
Yeah, man, you're more than welcome. He says, "How can base ability change? They said all old horses unchanged, or do you mean the new ones have less base ability?" I think I don't know personally, but what I've seen is people on Twitter are saying like pre-update horses have more base ability passed down into them than post-update, but I have absolutely no clue. I'm not smart enough to know.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a strong answer either.
Yeah, that
But I did see that tweet.
you saw that one as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen a few people tweeting it, so I'm like, interesting,
I
interesting.
guess, and what, especially for unraced parents, I guess the Z2 pre is probably a better lotto versus the post because if you're doing a sprinter with a marathon, in my mind, that's not going to work out. So if it's unraced parents, if you want to buy unraced parents, I'll go pre. I'll go, but also you still got to look at the ancestry. I mean the offspring of those parents. Um, but if they're raced, it might be better by post algo change if you
Mm.
can match up the traits that you're looking for. And I know there's not many on the market, but
Would you buy a Z2 from two unraced parents post-update?
I have, yeah. But maybe not anymore.
I don't blame you, man, because I bought diamonds. Both of his parents were unraised when I bought him. Now it was dumb luck, right? Like I didn't
Right.
look up his ancestry or any of that, but um, they were both unraised. But then again, that was pre-update. Nilsh asks, "Are you guys seeing any new monsters come out?" I haven't seen any new like. I guess horses are doing really good on their way up, but I guess you can't really like quantify them as monsters until they start either outflaming horses in paid C1s.
Right. Yeah, I think just give it another week and we'll see something. Need more time.
100%,
I
man.
think a lot of people are, running the free dailies anyways.
It's fun though. Like Griffies are filling, discoveries are filling, people are racing their horses, people are breeding horses. Like we'll see. I don't know where we go from here, but like you're saying, like hopefully only way is up. Where can people follow you at Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago Staples on Twitter
Awesome,
at
man.
Chicago Staples. That's it. Here, should we do a quick giveaway for everyone in chat that stuck around?
Yeah, if you want to do it, let's do it, man.
Yeah, I'll find a horse that that we can do. But yeah, you can load up everyone's name.
Sounds good. Let's do it. I appreciate you for doing that. All right, let's what do I got to pull up? Desktop 2. Yep, share screen. Yep. All right, let's go. Okay, so we'll go to the wheel of deals. Evergreen, have you bred have you bred after the update? Yes, I did breed 2 horses. So I owed Upper Moon a Diamonds and Bonnie Parker breed, so I gave him. He got that yesterday. He's kept it unraced, and I bred. I'll show you guys after we do this, but I bred 2 horses. I don't want to get too excited, like I want to see if they can start out flaming. Well, I bred Thanks for Coming. Thanks with a Z for coming. And Chicago beat me yesterday in the finals, but we made it to the finals and made some money. So, I
That's
bred him for
right.
.08 and he's already made .07, so he's basically paid himself off. But Sleek Like Meek whooped our ass last night.
It was at a .004 win.
Yeah,
A
something like
nose
that.
hair.
Yeah, man. It was a good win though. Win's a win. So if you guys wanna be entered into this giveaway, just type 1 in chat if you guys stuck around. What do you got going on today? Like, are you doing free races or are you down in today? What's your plan for today?
Yeah, mixture of all of them. So basically, for the podium plate one, if my horse doesn't get top three right away, I'm just downing for the day because you gotta get 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, and I don't want to waste going up. And then yeah, I have a few that I want to go through. We can pull them up, and then we can have chat decide which one we'll throw up.
All right, let me enter all these people in here and then we'll do that. All right, we got automatic, if I can spell it right. Andy Mac says 1 in chat. I see you, Andy Mac. Andy Mack. We got Chris V. See, this is why I wanted to get the that little raffle game, because not raffle, it's like a marble roller, and then
Oh, I love that.
you've seen it? You've seen it before?
Yeah, I've seen it on some streams.
And you just have people race their marbles, and then
It's,
whoever
it's so
wins.
entertaining.
It is. It's so much fun. Eric, we got Mad, we got 530, we got Doughboy, we got Falcon. And so we'll say, hold on, I'll keep entering these people. We got AA Ron. We got Flat Out. We got Zermoose. We got Jon Snow. Appreciate all you guys tuning in, man. We got LJ. We got Dirt Legs. Mr. Lee688, appreciate you for subscribing. Did somebody else go make a second count so you can get 2 entries into the giveaway? I'm just playing. We got Dirt Legs. All right, I added that. We got our RVHS. We got Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, you ain't a bot. You ain't someone's duplicate account. And did I add Jeff? All right. And then we'll add Jeff. And I think, all right, make sure I didn't double add it. Automatic, Andy Matt, Chris V, Nilsh, Cal, Eric, Matt, 530, Doughboy, Aaron, Flat. Who's Flat? Did I miss one? Oh, Flat Rollout Stables. All right, never mind. I got you. We got Zermoose. We got Jon Snow. We got LJ. We got Dirtlegs, RVHS, Mr. Lee, and we got Jeff. We got Dallas Diamonds. We got Dallas. All right, we'll do 30-second countdown. And then after that, we'll call it a wrap. And then we'll close the giveaway.
Do you want to pull up the horses? Because I want to decide which one we're going to do.
Yeah, so all good, fellas. I'm just messing with you, Mr. Lee. Yeah, so, all right, we're going to close it off in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody that's in here is in here. I'm going to stop sharing so Chicago can share screen, and then we'll come back to that, and we'll spin it.
All right, so there's 4 options. We'll go through them all quick, and then just vote on which one you want. So this is called Illegal, which is a marathoner who's got some potential. It's made the tournaments before, so pretty good at 26. And I haven't downed him. I didn't really try downing him, so I think you can get him down pretty low, sitting in class 2. So we could bring him down to class 4. I think you can contend for the daily tournaments. I'm pretty excited about this horse, Diamond Dancing. It's a sprinter, a Z15. Has good heat rates,
14 looks nice.
Short, and easy down, out long. So it's a Z15. I know a lot of people like that combo. We got White Phantom, Z17, Finny exclusive, made some tournaments. Just kind of like a podium plate, pity point horse for mids. And then I accept this Rose is, I believe, a sprinter with variance.
All right. Cool. So the way we'll do it is we'll spin it, and then we'll just we'll come back here, and then we'll let the winner pick.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so I'll share screen, and then we'll spin it. Buck, you just missed out, dog. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You missed the countdown. I love you, though, Buck. It's all good. Oh, man, I can't. Okay, we'll pull this up again. Oh, I did the wrong thing. We'll hit stop share, and then we'll hit share again, and then we'll go. Here we go. What's your favorite number? 1 through 10.
And we'll do 6.
6. All right. 6. Let me move this. All right. We're going to shuffle it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's spin it. Thank you, Chicago.
Absolutely.
Dirt Legs. Ooh, it's close. Dirt Legs with the
There you
dubs.
go.
So Dirt
Yes.
Legs, hit me up on actually just type in chat. So I'll let Chicago share screen and then you can pick which horse you want. Nice.
So yeah, we got the legal Z18 Legend Beater Run potential at long distance 2600. Diamond Dancing Z15 Legendary Sprinter. White Phantoms, the Z17 Infinity exclusive super rare Arctics now mid distance. Let's take a look at the kids. Not sure. Yeah, it hasn't really produced. It was a Z32 beater run. That's a race 200 times, so I'm not sure how much weight you put on that. And then I accept this Rose exclusive beater in Philly as variance at short distance.
All right.
I think I know the one I would pick, but
Which one would you pick?
I think it's got to be Diamond Dancing. I think based on the horseshoe and the heat numbers. I mean, these are all I think free. Maybe just one page each of these. Yeah, but you can hang it. Hopefully, you can hang in free class 4.
Yeah, I like the name. I might.
Unless you want to go maybe the breeding route, maybe with the Finney super exclusive, you can breed it into the Genesis Finney, keep the line, or you can go maybe the more untested route.
So you got a legal, Diamond Dancing, White Phantom, and I accept this Rose.
All right, White Phantom it is. He says.
Let's go.
All right.
So
Yeah,
let's look into it again.
yeah. So it's got decent heat rates. 50% at mid. Uh, like I said, this is like a podium plate horse. Podium plate, 50 point cup potential. We'll see if we can get it in today. It's podium plate day. So, hey, Darlex, can you just put your ETH chat or ETH address in the chat? I mean,
Awesome.
maybe it's distance. I don't even know.
I
It's
think
100%.
by the looks of it, because it's still got 100% flames at 24 and 26. Pretty
I mean, it
left
might
leaning
be.
by those three races at 26.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, 1,000 or no heat in the back. It could be marathon. Just running around. Because this horse, let's see, I bred it, I guess in October.
Arctic Snow. What's your favorite coat color?
Um, I like, I think I like Gainsborough, but I also, like Electric Violet, maybe even Chrome Yellow. Kind of, those ones seem more rare than the actual super rares.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Electric Violet and Chartreuse.
Okay, Chargers, yeah. Also Aggressive Reserve, or whatever that one was called.
Mm-hmm.
Slate Gray is pretty nice. Midnight Black. Um, Crimson Tide.
So F and Vodka, what's the story behind that horse?
I bought oh, I bought it you back in probably July, I think point three,
Mm.
during when there's no volume. I raced it only 2 times and I stopped because I knew the odds were bad and that's when I was getting a little smarter. But like the parents are mine and matches are really good. Z5 and then the dad's on race. Um, but then I just look at the G races.
Sevens. Sheesh.
They're like, can you post your address?
Yep, just drop your ETH address in chat, and then he'll send that over your way. We'll wait for you to do that.
Yeah.
You want to show us
Yeah.
some new horses in your stable? Oh, Square
So
Theater.
yeah,
We were looking at that one the other day, man.
Yes, yeah. So Square Theater, he won an A Sprinter Cup as well, Z10. So yeah, I'm downing him today, but he's
Woo!
nice at
That
a
1,000
thousand.
meters,
Not
sweet.
yeah, and it sucks that 12's the tournament. Hopefully, we'll mix up the distances here soon.
Point 0.4 profit though.
Uh,
Still, that's nice.
yeah, sell anything's a good sprinter. Z7 Genesis. So that's my newest addition, Genesis wise.
Point 0.4 profit at
Uh,
1,200 as well.
yeah, but here's the Z2 that I was talking about with distance preference. Because he was getting outflamed at 24. So we'll try maybe 2000 next. So I didn't like that he didn't flame at 16, but he got second.
Mm.
But just because
Who
of high base ability,
who was in that race?
arbitrage. Let's see. I remember it was a, I mean, a Z6 Genesis, the Z7 Genesis, and the Z18
Is
flying
that
over me.
24 or 16?
This is 24, yeah.
Gotcha.
But here's my this was the second breed ever with the new algo. Um, he turned out pretty nice for sprints, and it's flaming in C1, which is as a Z11 beater, it's nice to see. So I'm gonna get her into the tournament. I've only done 2 races today, so I've been trying it down. Um, but yeah, so we're 2 for 2 so far today, and then you got Sleek.
Sleek like meat. Let's go. Some
So
big
yeah,
wins.
yeah, I've done. Let's see, I've done. Let's see, what's a $100 race buy-in? 0.03.
0.04, something like that. Yeah, 0.03.
Yeah, so I mean, a 2, a 6, and a 6 so far. So I'm in at 25 waiting to fill right now. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, at least you made some money in that, or yeah, you made some money in that 1,000
Yeah,
meter.
yeah. But yeah, we're up to 0.22 profit after last night's win.
Sheesh. Let's go.
And then, yeah, I think I had, yeah, he's doing well. Um, oh, here's my newest C2 I just bought. There's another sprinter as well.
I saw this is one is post update because I saw the chairman was
This
in
is,
stud.
yeah, this is post update. It got second in the quarters behind Famous Free. No heat. I was really hoping to heat here, but
Who was in this? Z1, Z5 that flamed, and
and then Sector
mm,
Sun.
how much time would you spend down classing? 2 or 3 days? Asked Aaron.
Uh, well, depends how far up you went. I think, say you have a C3 horse, you get up to C2. You gotta be aware enough not to keep going into C2, man. Right? You don't want to get too far. And that can go for any class. C4 to 3, 2 to 1. Just gotta be mindful of where you're actually competitive and where you're not. But
Mm,
it should only take um, only one tournament because you can race in the morning, get your 5-8 races down. Then at night you do another 5-8, and then next morning you do 5-8, and then you should be good.
you want to
But yeah,
pull
I'm
up?
trying.
Thanks for coming, real quick.
Yeah,
So, Falcon. My bad. It has a Z instead of a S. Gotta throw a little bit of a Diners
yeah.
twang in there. So yeah, bred this horse. I had a breeding deal with Bay Creek. They got the first horse pre-update. I got the second one post-update. They kind of sprung the breeding update on us, so we were supposed to get it done pre-update, but it is what it is. So the reason why I reached out to him for Bella is just because I saw I had a bunch of base ability on the Zed's tool. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like, looks like it's a base ability 1,600-meter horse or something like that. And so I reached out to him. He got the first breed. I got the second one. I named it Thanks for Coming. The story behind the name is just one of my boxing coaches was like, when he would hit home runs, like one of the dads in the stands would just be like, "Thanks for coming." So like, hey, you know what? I like that. That's a good name for when a horse gets first. So threw a little diamonds twang on there with the Z, and thanks for coming. And then I also bred chocolates, so it's just chocolate with a Z. And that was I own that Z2, but didn't really breed anything substantial pre-update. So this is the first breed.
Was it diamonds or who's?
Yeah, it was a diamonds, baby.
This one?
Yeah, right there. So what I like about this horse is in Discovery, it got 12th in a flame in that 1600 meter. So I'm like, well, maybe we passed on some variants. I don't know. We'll see, though. This horse didn't qualify for a tournament yesterday, though.
Yeah, that's the note sheet because I guess the 2.5 took you out of it, but that's still a good performance with 1-3-1.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, we got
especially mid
flames.
Well, yeah, 12, okay, 2000. Are you gonna try 16 more?
Am I gonna try it more?
Yeah.
Probably. I was liking 18 because like right there was a 1-4. So what's today? The podium plate, right?
Right.
So I'll probably stick with 18 today, but I'm excited to test him. Like I'm not getting too excited about anything. I want to see if he flames over anybody like in a paid race at those distances. But yeah, those are the two horses I bred, and then there's a Bonnie Parker and Diamonds breed that they haven't raced yet, or they haven't named or raced it. What's that?
Was it older?
No, it was bred yesterday. It's just yeah, I think only Haku shows it.
Okay. Some other. Is it named?
No, not yet. I think that's why it doesn't show up is because it's unnamed, unraced.
Oh yeah.
Dirt Legs. Do you want to throw your ETH address in chat, or do you just want to hit one of us on Twitter in the DMs, so he can send that horse over your way? But yeah, so we went 3 for 3 on colts this round. I got 2 colts. He got a colt as well. Excited to see what happened. I mean, Bonnie Parker and Diamonds, 2.
Yeah, it should be great.
Exactly, 2 good Z2s. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
All right. Any other questions? Last questions?
Any closing words? Man, I enjoyed that. That was a good time. Thank you for doing the giveaway.
Anytime. Man, probably every time.
All right, man. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with solo streaming. People can follow you at Chicago Stables on Twitter. And Chicago's always in here in chat. We might pull him up another day just to hang out or something. But
yeah,
much appreciated, my man.
Thank you.
Have a good day, dog.
You too.
All right, that's it, guys. What up, homie? We're just closing out right now, but that's it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Chicago Stables. We will be back tomorrow with a solo stream, whatever tournament there is tomorrow. But I got chocolates. Thanks for coming to race. So, yeah, appreciate all you guys tuning in. As always, shout out to Chicago Stables. That was a great chat. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.